What's up, everybody? Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks here with Move the Sticks. And Bucky, it's March, which means it's tournament time, but that's not just a basketball thing anymore.
No, it's not a basketball thing anymore. We're talking about these prospects and which guys will have the best NFL career.
A little prospect bracketology.
How about
we can
that?
go with that. And this is a chance for you at home to be able to vote on who's going to win these matchups. So I thought we'd dig right in with the 1 versus 8 matchup. You see there in the top left corner, which gives us Laremy Tunsil, the offensive tackle from Ole Miss, going up against DeForest Buckner, the talented defensive lineman from the University of Oregon. It's a good matchup.
Very good matchup. Two talented frontline players. Both guys have the skills that you look for to be franchise players. It'll be interesting to see how the fans vote on it.
All right, let's start here with Laremy Tunsil and what we see when we watch him on tape, Buck. This is somebody, you want somebody that has a beautiful pass set. It's like a teaching tape watching what this guy does. He is so fluid and so athletic. You see him go up against a lot of big-time edge rushers and completely shut them down. I just think he's one of the best left tackles to come out in quite some time.
One of the best left tackles to come out in quite some time. Dancing bear on the edge. I love his sweet feet, how balanced, how uncontrolled he is. When you saw him at the combine, he just looked like a natural. And talking to him at the combine, he talked about playing basketball and being a guy that had 15 points, maybe 10 or 11 rebounds. You see that athleticism on display when he plays in those one-on-one matchups on the edge. Dominant player, a guy who should be a premier player from the first day he steps onto the field.
Now, we're asking you to vote at home here, which is NFL.com. You see it on the bottom there, /MTS bracket. So if you don't watch a lot of college football, you're an NFL fan, you don't know, you just saw that little clip there. I thought I'd kind of tell you what kind of a player you're getting. We'd use our comparison. And so when I compare him to Jason Peters and what he brought to the table throughout his career. I was around him with the Philadelphia Eagles, Buck, and to me they're very similar type players.
Very similar, meaning they're very, very athletic, very light on their feet, have the ability to control the edge. You talk about a premier, perennial Pro Bowl player. I believe Laremy Tunsil can be the same kind of player at the next level.
Yeah, almost the same type of build as well. Jason Peters, a former tight end, and I think you're seeing similar footwork and overall athleticism there with Tunsil and Peters, very similar guys. All right, let's move now to his opponent. And you're going up against a Buckner from Oregon. You talk about rare size and rare hands. His hands, for those who don't know, are over 11 inches. So 8.5 by 10 here. That shows you how big his hands are. He's a mountain of a man.
You know, monster length, outstanding physical dimensions and attributes. A guy that can play inside or outside in the defense. You see him play a 5 technique, meaning he plays right over the tackle. In a 3-4 defense at Oregon. And what I liked about him, he was a dominant player in the Pac-12. He could have come out last year, wanted to go back and work on his pass rush skills, had over 10.5 sacks his senior season. And when I look at him, I think it's easy to envision him being a dominant player, a guy who wins with his length, his power, his aggressiveness, and he also has a little finesse ability. He is a very, very intriguing prospect, someone who's definitely worth a top 10 pick. Based on what he brings to the table.
Yeah, Calais Campbell. I mean, you don't see many guys walking around that size. Calais Campbell is one of them.
No, Calais Campbell is a great comparison because when you look at their physical dimensions, they're almost identical. And then when you look at how Calais Campbell's game has kind of developed throughout the years, he has become a talented Pro Bowl player, a guy that can control the point, a guy that also gives you pass rush ability. Terrific player, someone that I can see DeForest Buckner patting his game after and becoming that kind of player.
So when you're going to vote and determine who wins here, you got to see, do you want Jason Peters for your football team or do you want Calais Campbell? Now you can go to NFL.com/MTS bracket, launch your vote, and we will determine the winner a little bit later on in the week, and we'll give you that information right here on the Move the Sticks podcast, which you can catch on iTunes, NFL.com/podcast, or right here on YouTube.